what I would love? I would love to never have to interview ever again. I am such a bad interviewee. And before people say, oh, you just have to prep, mock interviews with a friend, look at this resource and that resource. No. I need a strong dose of beta blockers or something because I am physically incapable of communicating what I do. I don't want to talk about what I do. I want to do it. Like, put me in, coach. I just don't want to talk about it in order to do. I had a call with a recruiter a little while ago. I'm so embarrassed. She asked me something. It was word vomit. It was word salad. I don't know what I said. And then she told me that I talk too fast and it can make the interviewer feel like they're not in control of the conversation. Like, yep, well, welcome to my brain.
We're going to be taking out videos about interviews. Also something that I feel like needs to be talked about because we already know how chaotic it is trying to find a job, how people stay like they stay months. But we're going to be talking about the draining part, the part that drains the most. Going through interviews, we all know about the interview panic, the anxiety that comes before that, even if you've done multiple. So all those type of things. You already have a job, it's different, okay? But when you don't have a job, you're unemployed and you're interviewing, it's a whole different ball game. But before we get right into this video and check them out, a big shout out to Andre Brown for sending me a $2 super thanks. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So please click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
I really don't understand these jobs because they'll put you through one interview, you pass that round, then they'll call you back for your second round, then they'll send you that Zoom or that Teams link. You click into that link and you'll see who all in your interview, and they be Bobby, Phil, Lil, Tommy, Chucky, Angelica, Susie, Ads, all the motherfuckers in your interview. Like, I don't even want the job no more. Because why is it taking that many people to interview me? Like, why? Like, that's the worst. I don't like it.
So I'm about to do an interview, and although I've been on hundreds of interviews, I still hate doing them. And I've mastered them. I've gotten really good at them. I'm very comfortable. But just that feeling right before you do the interview, and it's not that I'm nervous, it's just draining. Like, it's at this point, it's starting to feel draining. I will say it definitely feels like less pressure going on an interview when you already have a job. So I work for myself, so interviews are like interviewing with the potential client to potentially service them. So it's a little different, but nonetheless, I'm still getting the interview like, ugh. And remote interviews are especially annoying because now I gotta like pick out a good shirt. So they don't even get to like see my whole outfit, which is annoying and takes the fun out of it. And I've like stopped looking for a W-2 job probably about a year ago, and I thought I wanted to start my journey again. But after last year and the end of 2023 and literally going on like 100 interviews and doing projects and rounds and rounds and rounds, and then the HR person getting laid off and all this stuff, like, I don't know. I gotta do something. I don't know.
So I just went 5 rounds with a company, had my final interview today. So it was a recruiter conversation, then it was 3 different interviews, then it was a massive project and presentation, and then there was a final round interview after that. I understand needing to be thorough with more senior level positions with the interview process, but it's a huge red flag for me that I feel burnt out from just the interview process. I haven't even joined the company yet, and honestly, my excitement levels have kind of plummeted. As much as I would love to have an offer right now and so quickly, all signs are just pointing to this isn't the right fit.
I am absolutely done with this job market because I just had an interview where the person was like, yeah, we found the person yesterday that we actually want to hire, but we still want to talk to you. And then proceeds to not ask me any questions and then just says, we'll let you know if the other person doesn't work out. Like, how is that professional in any way? I learned that if something like this happens again, I'm going to push back more because that's ridiculous. Just wasted my time for 2 days to do this. And this is after multiple reschedules and also being late today to the interview. So I don't even think I want to work for this company anyways.
You off that it's no longer good enough to come to a job board and search for a job from.
So that's my post. I made it because I keep on seeing the advice that, like, if you want to make it through layoffs unscathed, you need to go ahead and start your personal branding now. And I'm just like, y'all, people are tired. And it's like, I get it. It's like, I understand that, like, what a personal brand can do for somebody, but it's like you're asking a person to continue to do extra work in case they lose their work so they can get more work. I feel like a lot of the career advice I've been seeing, it's a lot of it's like minimalized and also like glamorized. It's always just like, oh, just make your resume ATS friendly, and you know, just make the personal brand, just reach out to recruiters, just do this and do that. And I'm like, y'all are minimalizing this because those things take a lot of work. There's no, oh, just do this. Like it takes a lot of work to do that stuff. And then on the other side, it's like people are glamorizing it. Like I see posts all the time that's just like, I applied for 2,000 jobs and I made all these resumes, and it's like they feel good about themselves because it's like they finally did it. And they're like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying if you've done all of that you should feel proud of yourself, but what I'm wanting to do is point to the fact that you should not be doing this. Nobody should be doing this. You should not have to make a personal brand. You should not have to apply for 2,000 something jobs. You should not be unemployed for a year or 6 months, 8 months. That should not be normal. And it's like, I feel like it reminds me of Struggle Love. It's like, oh, we went through all this stuff, but we finally made it to the altar. I feel like that's what's going on in the workplace. It's like, yeah, you just gotta, like, you know, people come to you and they like really hype you up and motivate you, and they're just like, you know, you just gotta push through, you just gotta keep applying. And I'm like, y'all are saying this like it's supposed to be motivational, but instead of like motivating people to continue, we shouldn't be motivating each other to break this system, because things just should not be like that. My friend had asked me, she was like, if everybody's an influencer, what's gonna make us stand out? Because some people had left in my comments, they were like, well, as a hiring manager, you know, this really makes you stand out. But if everybody is getting blasted with the advice of like personal branding, then what's gonna make them stand out? Like, is it gonna be like, oh, but this person has more followers than you, or this person has better software so their content is better? Like, what is it gonna be? I'm looking for a new job, and like I said, it's been very ridiculous. Like, it's even to the point where part-time jobs are requiring cover letters. Part-time jobs that's not even gonna cover their rent are requiring cover letters. I just feel like as humans, we just sit on this floating rock and we just come up with the dumbest stuff. And then everybody follows it, and then it's like, oh, well, this is the best practice, or this is the way it's always been done. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't. The only reason why things are the way it is because somebody made it up and other people decided to follow, and it put us in this predicament. Anyway, so if you've been searching, please let me know what your experience has been. Like I said earlier, my experience has been like challenging. I've job searched before, but this has probably been like the most challenging one. So I would love to hear y'all experiences.
Disclaimer, if I get an offer letter, I'm deleting this. Yeah, when I tell you yesterday I had an interview for a leadership role, and I have never in my life been cooked like this in an interview. I'm talking Boston baked beans. First thing I need to say is to hell with y'all. And you know why? Because I thought y'all said we wouldn't need math later on in life. I thought that's what y'all said. I thought that's what y'all was telling us. Why as soon as I get there, they hand me a math test. Not only did they hand me a math test, they handed it to me on paper. Motherfucking paper, man. Gave me a pencil and... Bruh gave me a pencil and told me to make sure I show my work. Not only that, I had to take a math test, I had to take a computer skills test, I had to take a survey, and I had to do a tools test. Bro, I'm not the dumbest rock in the box. I promise I'm not. But these people had my resume like this. I don't know if they were trying to break me or if they didn't believe what they were reading on the resume. I don't know which one it was, but they had my shit like this. So you said yada, 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 yada. How did you? I'm like, Bro, I have never been in an interview where they went word for word, line for line on my resume, asked me about everything I put on there. Now, my resume is truthful. Like, I don't put no lies on there. But I don't remember, like, some of them jobs and shit from 10 years ago, bucko. I really don't remember exactly why I put what I put on there because of what I did at that job. Like, I'm talking about they was extensively going into my resume. All right, I'm about to give y'all 3 scenarios from the interview where I got absolutely baked on, bro. Mind y'all, there's 4 of us in there. Me, the interviewee, the senior talent acquisition person, the HR manager, and the supply chain manager who's over the entire department for the position that I'm getting hired. Well, I'm interviewing for. So the supply chain manager asked me some question from my resume, and I'm going through giving him a scenario from my previous work, and I draw a blank. Keep that I draw a blank part too. That's another scenario I'm gonna give y'all. I draw a blank and can't remember the name of the position. I can't remember the name of the position that I'm talking about, that I'm drawing from, right? This nigga takes my resume, no bullshit. He goes, you were there 4 years and you can't remember the name of the position? Bro, I'm too unserious for a serious ass interview like this, bro. I wanted to laugh so bad, bro. I'm like, this nigga cooking me. I tell him, yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Bro, this man goes, so how often do you draw blanks at work? Bro, when I say bro was baking me, dog, I was like, bro, I have never been a part of an interview so serious. Oh my God, bro. All right, here's the third and final scenario I'm gonna give y'all just because I thought these were super funny and I remembered them afterwards. So, you know, at the end, after they finish the spiel, they put you in a hot seat, they give you all they can give you. They ask you, do you have any questions for them, right? So I ask my questions for them or whatever. And the HR manager, before we was wrapping up the last question, she said, I got one more question for you. What do you think you're bad at? Like, what's your weaknesses? So, I'm like, in life, at work, what are you alluding to? She's like, we all have weaknesses. It doesn't matter. So I'm trying to lighten the mood. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, obviously my weight, no, I said, obviously my diet. Dog, the supply chain manager, boy, looked at me. I think bro was trolling me this interview, bro. I swear to God. That boy looked at me and said, so you... Oh my God, bro, this is funny. That boy looked at me and said, so you lack self-control? I was cooked. I was done. I got up out of there. All right, y'all have a good day. No.
Can we normalize only having to interview with people that would actually interact with the person that would be in this role? Why would I be having interviews with people that I wouldn't even have a conversation with regularly on the job, like if ever? One of my favorite questions to ask whenever I'm on interviews is, oh, how would someone in this position or interact with you or your team? And if I hear you say, oh, you wouldn't, I don't really talk to y'all like that, I wouldn't really talk to that team like that, then why am I on the phone with you? Like, I just, like, I don't mind multi-round interviews and I understand their importance and their benefit, but I just don't know that if I would quite literally, I would never send an email to you. We would never have regular correspondence. Why am I having a conversation with you about you hiring me? Like,
some people, when they're interviewing, they might not be able to say things, like they might not be able to say or show with their words. They might not be able to show how good they can be in that job positions. Sometimes, like, we could really be good for those jobs, like we could do so well in it, but just answering those questions, passing those stage, being able to communicate what you're gonna, like, what you're good at, and please someone, it's not easy at all. Like, it can be so difficult, and sometimes people fail with that and end up not getting a job that they could have really prospered and do good. And then you have those who put you through so much, multiple rounds. You're going to go through rounds and rounds and rounds of interviews. It's like, please, like, damn, if you know you want someone, you should know that, please, like, early, just look at them. You want this one, is this a person that pleases your heart? Just go ahead, stop it, like, 'cause it's just too much, it's too ridiculous. Some companies will want you to do their project while posing as interviews, while it's just you doing their project, helping them work for free. Like, you're literally doing it for free. You're not getting paid for it. And some people do not know that. They have no idea that they're working for those companies by just trying to search for a job.
Y'all, I gotta tell y'all what the is happened to me at my interview. Okay, so y'all, let me just set the scene, right? So I'm like a pro. Like, whenever I want to get a job, like whenever I never served before and I got a serving job, I literally put a serving job to get my serving job. Like, I put a this job to get my this job or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're from Georgia, you probably know about Frankie's Steakhouse. It's the only steakhouse. It's the only Frankie's in Georgia or whatever. So, you know, I'm trying to get a little fine dining restaurant job or whatever. I'm like, you know what? Frankie's Steakhouse should do a motherfucking deal. That should still the deal, bitch. So, I have Frankie's Steakhouse on my resume or whatever. I got a call back from Cut Steakhouse like 2 days ago. They like, hey, we want to interview you this Thursday. So I go to my little interview, whatever, and she's like, I like you a lot. You know what? I like you a lot, but we're not hiring for service at this location, but at the Atlanta location, we're hiring for service. But just make sure you know all your steak knowledge. Make sure you know your drink knowledge to a T. Right? So you know me. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Medium rare, motherfucking medium well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rare is a red inside, cool inside with a light sear. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I've got this shit. Y'all will never guess. As soon as so let me set the scene. So he comes to me. Hi, my name is so and so. I'm like, hi, my name. Nice to meet you. So this nigga we start walking behind the restaurant. This nigga started walking to the cooler. But I'm not really thinking much of it. I'm just thinking like, why the fuck this nigga got me walking through the kitchen for an interview, right? So this nigga pulls out a wooden board of steaks and he hands it to a server. Something like, oh, he just helping out. Like, teamwork makes the dream work. This nigga pulls out another wooden board of steaks, sit that bitch down and tells me to name these steaks, motherfucker. I'm talking about the steaks is sitting there still mooing on the damn platter. He talked about naming the steaks. Only a cow himself could have told me what the steak was. Would have had to went to motherfucking Steak University to know what the them steaks was. I know you lying. But you know me, like, never been, never what? So I start naming them. I'm like, okay, you know what? This sirloin, you know what I'm saying? This ribeye, this New York stripiana. Anyway, so I'm thinking, he like, okay, that's pretty good. That's average. So now we go upstairs and we start doing the motherfucking interview. I'm gonna just cut to the chase. He says, he was like, what is an old fashioned? I was like, are you referring to a drink? I didn't know that I applied for bartender. Why the fuck are you asking me what an old fashioned is? Fuck. So I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. Then he starts saying, all right, so if somebody asks you for a bourbon and they ask you for 3 recommendations of a bourbon, what you gonna say? I'm like, I was like, shit, I would hope they wouldn't ask me for bourbon. Fuck. Because at this point, the interview is scrapped. Like, the interview is scrapped. He thought that little shit was funny. Like, he started laughing. He like, I respect your honesty. Said whiskey. Asking me to name whiskeys and scotch. Do I look like a grown 40-year-old white man to you? The only thing I got for you is Jack Daniels. And I don't even know if that's a whiskey, scotch. I don't know what the that is. Name a scotch. Four Loko, Clubtail, and Buzzball. Fuck is wrong with your goofy ass? I don't know no scotch, ho. Then he starts saying like you should know these steaks. You should know these steaks. I'm like, I mean, they're raw. Like, they're raw. I don't know. He's like, well, they present it raw at Frankie's, don't they? I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, they do. I'm like, I mean, shit. I'm gonna vent. I'm gonna vent really quickly. Anytime I go anywhere with my resume, I was a manager at 19, I was a manager again at 23. I'm only 25. Anytime I go anywhere with my fucking resume, these places are like, oh my God, you're so overqualified for an associate's position. Come back and apply for management. And then when I come back and apply for management, it's like, but you're so young. You meet all of our criteria, but you're so young. You have so much experience in all of the fields that we need you to have experience in, but you're just a kid. And it's like, what are you looking for? Like, genuinely, what are you looking for? I have experience as a customer service manager. I have experience as food management. I have worked in deliveries. I've worked in installs. I've worked, I've worked as a waitress
And this is like not me bouncing around from company to company, by the way. It's like me staying within 3 major companies and working my way up the corporate ladder, which you would think that like this is what they want to see, right? But literally, no matter where I go, they're like, no, like you're a little too overqualified for us, so we're not going to go with you as a candidate. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean that I'm meeting all of the criteria that you need, but that's not enough for you? Like, am I gonna have to start literally pitching myself to people on TikTok in order to get a job? I've been trying to get out of this shitty fucking job that treats us like shit and throws literally like safety and health out the goddamn door. And no matter how many times I try to bring that up to the higher ups, they just don't want to hear me. So I'm just gonna fucking leave. Because you can't reform a company that literally doesn't care about the safety of others. You just can't. But I have been looking for like a year just to try to get out of this place. And it's like, where do you go? It's like, where do you go when these places are like, like your resume is great, but it's not. I just don't understand. But anyways, hey, if you are on TikTok and you're looking for someone either remote or in person, although I am based out of New England, to help you with any job, give me a call, especially if you got bennies. Health insurance Benny would be great, but I've literally done everything. Oh, and I've also revived people on the shift, so best trust and believe that I can handle a medical emergency as well.
Honestly, because of how draining interviews are, and I know this might not be something that some people experience, but some people actually deal with how like they feel drained by it. But maybe there are some who do not really feel drained. Some people love talking, they love communicating, they have very good communication skills, they enjoy it, and some people have mastered it so well that it's a fun thing for them. They try to practice here and there even when they have a job. But like for me, like interviewing has made me, just the thought of it has made me stick to a job that I really want to leave, has made me stick to it and be like, you know what, like I'm just gonna stay here. Like at this point, maybe when I'm ready, maybe I will start, searching and wanting to do the interview processes, because I am like, nah. And especially people who do not really like talking to people, like you don't really enjoy talking to someone and it just feels like draining, and they just come and make you so nervous and give you so much anxiety and be asking you so much questions. Like, and now you know what the crazy part is, even the scammers, let's say, like, for job postings that are fake, the scammers on there, and even for real jobs, they literally will send you messages and want you to put in so much work. They'll be asking you for so much things that you need to send to them for that job, put you through all those things, put you through all of them, and still you won't get the job. You're really drained, you're tired. And the shameful thing about the multiple round interviews is that right now we're having multiple round interviews for, before it used to be for jobs that will pay you so much, about 6 figures. Now it's like jobs that are just really, they pay crumbs, are having multiple rounds. Like, what are you doing? I've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. I really appreciate you. Please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time, and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.